So you want to know what our personal picks for the Sony PlayStation 2 are?
I hope so. I mean, they've sat through all these other PlayStation 2 videos.
So today we kind of put our own spin on what we recommend rather than just going with what everyone talks about. Maybe we talk about a game that we've already talked about, maybe we don't, and a little bit of our personal experience with the game.
Right. And I'm noticing something with these personal picks is that generally speaking, not always, I usually pick something kind of safe, but I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm doing it because those are the games that really stuck out to me, and those are the
You
games
spent the most time on.
Well,
yeah.
It's not always that, but sometimes that's the game that, like, I remember, for example, my personal pick for the PS2 is Jak and Daxter, the first Jak and Daxter, and it was the first game. I remember we rented a PS2 before we owned one, and this was during a time, some people may not remember that, renting games and renting consoles. And we rented it, and I had one, my oldest brother had moved out, and the two brothers that were living, which were three of us, we each got to choose a game, and I chose Jak and Daxter because I saw the marketing when I was younger, and it looked so cool, and it didn't disappoint. It's so much fun. Like, it's just kind of what I was expecting, which I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, it reminded me of collecting stars in Mario 64, but there was an awesome story too, and voice acting and all these things that I wasn't used to because the PS2 was still so new at the time, right? And ultimately we did get a PS2 as our first console for that generation, and I never got the game. I didn't get the game until later. So it's a great game, and I really enjoyed it. So that's why it is so special to me. I've played it again through in my adult life a few times, actually. So
yeah.
But everybody knows about that game, right? And Donovan's going to tell you about his, but it's not what you're expecting.
Yeah, usually unpopular opinion on mine. But so unlike Gerard, my first console in this generation was a GameCube, and the first PS2 I ever owned was when I started reselling them. So I've never even kept one.
So not super, super long ago in comparison.
Exactly. So my experience was, shout out to Chris if you're out there or watching this.
He's watching.
He better be watching. But he had a PS2 growing up, and I remember he got this game, Simpsons Road Rage.
I remember it.
And you know what? Being able to drive through the Simpsons Cosmos,
Simpsons GTA, right?
It's more like Taxi. No, you're thinking of
Hit and Run.
Hit and Run.
Right. Yeah,
See, I unpopular opinion, I liked Road Rage more. It played more like a taxi game.
Like Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, and it was multiplayer, and you just picked your character. I remember always picking the grandpa because he had the smallest car, and you just rip through town, weaving and just trying to pick people up and drop them off, and just driving through the Simpsons universe. And how beautifully colored it all was. It just looked so well.
I remember being kind of cell shady.
Yeah.
Right? It was pretty cool.
And just, back then, just being able to jump into a TV show that we grew up with, it really, really stuck with me. And it's a game I've played.
There's been Simpsons games before, but never was it fully realized like this.
Yeah.
Right?
It was the first time you could actually just go around the town rather than just doing a side scroller.
Yeah, exactly.
And both of these games are not outrageously priced. Jak and Daxter, you should be able to get any of them for $10 to $15.
Yeah, which is super cheap.
And for Road Rage, you should be able to get that for about $20, maybe $25. So it is a little bit more expensive. And as far as all the other games in our recommended for the PlayStation 2, it's actually one of the more expensive games. But those are our personal picks. And if you have a personal favorite, throw it down in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe.